Hey everyone, well today we're going to review a celebrity bourbon that I ordered from Sealbox. We're going to review Flair Bourbon, Straight Bourbon Whiskey, 100 proof. And the celebrity, of course, by the last name on the bottle, is none other than Ric Flair, 16-time Hall of Fame Wrestling World Champion. And of course, Ric Flair was known for always saying, "Woo!" Now, to be completely honest, there is absolutely no way I would have ordered this bottle from Sealbox if not for the fact that we've become or re-become real wrestling fans here. I watched wrestling like a long time ago, then I stopped. My wife Yvette was watching it a long time before we met, and over the last year, she got into it and then got me back into it, and now we find ourselves watching Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, all these special events, so it's amazing. So, obviously, of course, Ric Flair was in the older days, not currently, but he was a great wrestling champion, great personality. So just because of that, I figured that would be interesting. I'm going to be completely honest with you, not to put a negative spin. I'm not expecting much on this. It's just my gut feeling, but I hope to be pleasantly surprised. But in any event, let's get into what this is. So this is an MGP bourbon, just by the fact it's distilled in Indiana. It's from Flair Spirits, so it's bottled by Private Label Distillery LLC. It says distilled in Indiana, MGP. It's aged 8 years. It's 100 proof, not a bottled and bond. 100 proof. The mash bill seems like a fairly unique MGP mash bill. It's 75% corn, 23% rye, 2% malted barley. I've seen a 75 with another version of rye from MGP, but 75 corn, 23 rye, 2 malted barley. And just as a side note, Flair Spirits also makes, I believe, vodka, gin, and tequila. Now, just as a kind of a joke, not to be corny, but for a name like Flair on it, this bottle really doesn't have much flair to it. Thought it was a little plain looking. I think it's a screw-off cap. But I am going to open this. I'm going to also show you the front and the back. Interesting words on it. And then I think this is a screw top. So let's unscrew it and see what's inside. Here we go. So here's the front of the bottle, and the saying at the top, to be the man, you gotta beat the man. Woo! And of course, it shows the mash bill at the bottom. And then the back, congratulations, you just found the most styling, profiling, limousine riding, jet flying, kiss stealing bourbon in the world. Enjoy the ride. And now we'll open the screw top. Wow. Okay. Well, it's poured up. It is a screw top. Interesting gold cap, matches the letters. I'll give that. What I will say, as far as the positive is, it's when I joked about no Flair on it, it has an interesting caricature of Ric Flair on there. It has his signature 16 times, meaning champion. So there's some interesting stuff on there. I do like that they have the mash bill on it. That is, it's very good as far as disclosure in that one. So let's see what's really inside. Nose is I'm getting a little bit of caramel, nothing crazy on that. Let's give it a taste. Cheers. Okay. I'm getting a nice burst of caramel on there. A little caramel brown sugar. Not a bad taste. Decent finish. I did see, they showed some of the notes. They actually said, this was somewhere on here that said tobacco too. I can see that. That's not something I may have thought of, but I could see that. But definitely, you need traditional vanilla caramel, no doubt. And it's from MGP. I mean, look, MGP puts out some really good distilling products, some really good grains, obviously, and then individual, bottles like this. And others will either put their own fingerprint on it and make it sort of their own, or just basically age it and not do that much to it. So I'm not sure really what was done to it other than it being distilled in Indiana. But MGP is certainly nothing wrong in that. And you know what? And it says Indiana, you know that. So there's nothing being hidden here. Just trying to kind of see how the legs are. Not really much sticking to the glass. Let me get some of the taste. So I will say this, just really quick. This did exceed my expectations, because the problem is a lot of times you see celebrity bourbons and you automatically have a certain perception. So I've seen both ends of it. I mean, Heaven's Door, Bob Dylan. I think I've had a couple of really good ones from them. You know, and then there's others where it hasn't been the same. So just for that, I wasn't expecting that much. So I'll put it to you this way: would I, spend the money for this? This was like It was like $59 or something like that. Definitely, would not do that again. I just kind of was curious to buy it. There's so many good bottles on Sealbox. That's what I mean. Like in a normal situation, that would not be the first thing I would have bought. There's so many good products they come out with, and I wish I could order everything. But the reason is just because of the wrestling factor. So I would say this: it's definitely not bad. I mean, this exceeded my expectations. It's a tasty bourbon. It is a tasty bourbon. It's not doing anything crazy. It's not gonna blow you away. But if you're curious, this is definitely not going to be something that, oh wow, this is disappointing. It's not. It's just that I don't think there's anything exceptional about it. But I also don't think this is bad drinking bourbon whatsoever. So we have one more. Yeah, I think it's actually. I mean, honestly, I think it's really. I think it's good. I really do think it's good. I just don't think it's not something that's just out of the box exceptional, but it is. I can already see from the few sips I had, it's actually grown on me a little bit since then. So I think that because of the fact that Yvette's a wrestling fan, maybe she needs to try this in our next husband and wife review. So in any event, let's leave it there. Good bourbon, not great. Definitely exceeded my expectations. If you're curious about it and you want to try it, definitely, certainly give it a shot. Just because of myself, I'm not going to just buy it again. I was curious one time, but you know what? It's tasty. There's nothing wrong in it. It's just not going to blow you away, but it also didn't disappoint me either. So, you know what? At the end of the day, it exceeded my expectations, and it's not bad. Cheers.